Okay. Man, I hope this works. Hope this works right. This thing tripping. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. What a game that we just experienced, man. I'm so juiced right now. It was a little touch and go, man, but we pulled it out. Stay perfect away from Staples Center. Give the Heat their first home loss. Man, that was a game. And I'm going to be honest, man, like, AD sitting with 33 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. LeBron with 28 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. KCP with 15 and 4. JaVale with 9, 10 and 5. Avery with 10 and 3. Dwight gave in valuable minutes with 4 points, 8 rebounds. And this is crazy, man. Watching this happen right now is insane. Okay, I'm not going to be too much of a Laker homer tonight, though. We're going to talk about the issues that happened. We're going to talk about all of that stuff. Real quick, before I get started, man, I have too much of a different setup right now. I had an event here last night, and so some of my equipment is still displaced. But can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. And we're gonna get going, man. I'm tripping out right now as to how that game was going. It was touch and go. We just saw the Heat do something to the Atlanta Hawks, who thought they had the game in hand, and they came back, put it in OT, and then beat them in OT by double digits, man. So to watch the Lakers prevent the Heat from making it an extended game and from playing, picking up the defense when it was necessary and all those things was just so encouraging, man, on the road, especially after the last game that we had, stepping in here. Of course, we still have more games to go. This Miami Heat team is a team that has beat the Raptors, who beat us. They beat the Bucks, who has the same record as us. So the Heat are not a joke, man. And, they're 18-7 now after this loss, but please believe this was a very quality win. This was a quality win. Now, with all that being said, we got to talk about these issues, man. LeBron James tonight had 8 turnovers, and I really feel like there was 9 turnovers in there, but according to the box score, it was 8. If you guys don't know, they were saying it on Doris Burke was saying it on the air tonight, just how many issues that LeBron has had in that building trying to win since he left. And I think he was 1-4. This makes the second win that he's had there. And you could tell early on in the game, it was just in his head, man. It was just, this game, to be honest, if LeBron is playing like the LeBron we know, this is the first game where we've seen LeBron not be who he's supposed to be. He almost had as many turnovers as he had assists, and he had 12 assists, okay? So this is not the LeBron that we're used to seeing. But to see him struggle, if he had just been the normal LeBron, we would have won this game by double digits, okay? He played 37 minutes and he had 28 points, but the turnovers is what gave Miami so much life throughout the game. And they were silly turnovers. I'm talking like these things were complete mental breakdowns for his turnovers. And even when it wasn't a turnover, he was doing things that are so abnormal. You know, we're used to seeing him dribble, look at the ball, then shoot the three. But tonight he was doing some really strange stuff. Now he was 4 from 8 from the 3-point line, but watching him just early in the shot clock, just throw it up. And, you know, obviously, if there's anybody on that team that we trust to shoot long distance threes, it's him. But it's just so abnormal of him to do that in critical spaces, right? In critical spaces, he was making some very awkward decisions. But whatever Frank Vogel told that team at halftime, whatever he said, they came out in that third quarter and it was game over. AD and LeBron came in and decided that they were going to not just turn it on, but that they were going to pick it up another level. And it was necessary tonight because even though the Miami Heat were short a few people, they still had their shooters there. They still had their Tyler Hero. They still had Kendrick Nunn. They still had Robinson. These are all their sharpshooters, man. And of course, Jimmy Butler is a mid-range shooter. And so they had plenty of people on the floor tonight, but the Lakers were able to limit those people. Tyler Hero went 1 of 6 from 3-point line, which is what you want to see. Kendrick Nunn went 2 of 6 from the 3-point line. And then Robinson went 3 of 7. He pretty much was their hot hand outside of Jimmy Butler and Kelly Olynyk. But for the most part, the Lakers did what they were supposed to do against the strength of the Miami team. The issue was that we did not play our game. And because we did not play our game, and we let the crowd noise get to them, and of course it looked like just being in Miami had some sort of effect on the team. It made a difference. It made a difference. But let me also say that the secret weapon that we had tonight, and I know it's going to sound crazy, are 2 people that you would not expect, okay? KCP did his thing. He's been staying consistent. Avery Bradley was actually great tonight, double-digit points. We talked about this last post game. We really want to see him up in the double digits, playing that defense. He did a great job tonight in his defensive rotations. But the 2 people I want to focus on tonight are JaVale McGee and Jared Dudley. And the reason why is because we know that JaVale is not going to give us a lot of points, but that's not what he's there for. What JaVale gave us tonight was 10 rebounds. And let me tell you why that's important. The reason why we were able to win the game was because we were able to dominate with our size and our strength. And Dwight Howard, who did some things tonight, who had 8 rebounds, he was having a lot of issues on the foul side, and he wasn't able to do tip backs, and he was missing on layups, and he was having some issues. But JaVale provided a spark that I think in valuable moments. Now, he was not a key player that I would say like he's the reason why we won, but he is a key contributing factor to keeping the momentum and keeping the energy up. And then, of course, Jared Dudley, who was disruptive in the passing lanes. And he missed a couple threes tonight. I'm looking at his thing right here. Yeah, he was only 1 of 3 tonight. He only had 3 points, but his ability to he was doing a lot of pump fakes and driving to the lane, causing people to collapse, which is what gave AD opportunities to shoot 4 of 9 from 3-point land tonight. So just watching Jared Dudley make the right play. He knows he's a 3-point shooter, but how many times did we see Jared pump fake at the 3-point line and drive in, okay? And even there was one play where he knew he was going to miss it, but he lobbed it up high enough off the backboard that Dwight Howard was able to get that and put it back in. And so these are the things that make this Lakers squad so hard to match up against, because if they're having a bad night, they can rely on their defense. And if their defense is not going great, they can rely on their offense. And if neither one of those are going great, they can rely on their length and their size. Those last few minutes of that game, you saw Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James in. Do you understand how hard it is when you have that front lineup, like that front court there is insane. That's too much length. It's too much size. And there's nothing Miami had to counter that. Kelly Olynyk couldn't do anything about that. I forgot the other guy's name who was doing some things for them tonight. Silva. He couldn't. Once that lineup is in there, you don't know who to watch and you don't know who to guard. And it was just so good tonight. So let's get to these questions and let's talk through some of this stuff, man. Parada Velez. Forgive me for saying that wrong. Saludos. I'm going to say salute to you. Yes. Laker Metropolis. Too much turnovers, not enough ball security. I think we talked about that. I think a lot of that had to do with LeBron. Remember, LeBron as a leader sets the tone. And because he was doing some ill-advised things or some non-LeBron-esque things, you can see it filtering out to the rest of the team. And when he feels anxious and when he starts doing things outside of the shot clock and he starts doing things outside of his normal rhythm, it causes the rest of the team to operate in the same manner. To be honest, the person who was really kind of the stay steady was Anthony Davis. Once again, this is why you go for the best player in the league. And I know, like, there's still conversations about it, but the people that we use in our rebuilding project, from D'Angelo Russell all the way down to Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Hart, all of those people that got us through those years when we were rebuilding, all of those teams that have been now scattered across the league now, all of them are part of the bottom 4 teams of the league. That's not by coincidence. Anthony Davis, though, comes in and instantly shoots us to the top. And right now we're sitting as one of the best records in the league. And it's because of the way he played tonight. This is why he came to LA, was to prove the narrative that he could handle the big lights, that he could handle the big stage, and that he could stomp with the big dogs, in the word of Martin Lawrence. And so I'm so glad he did that. But LeBron had too many turnovers tonight. He was not setting the tone of being even keel. Anthony Davis did that, but LeBron obviously let that spill over to the rest of the team. Alex Acoustic, what a game. Listen, man, this team is super fun to watch. I know our guy Pete Zaya said that today. He was like, man, he just loves watching this team and how fun they are. And I couldn't agree more. It's games like this where you see things happening and you know that on the floor, when it's crunch time, out of all the 10 players that are on the floor, we have the 2 best. And that just makes me so good. Infamous Diva 7, I was legit about to pass out and vomit. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm going to be honest. When we got that score, that lead, down to single digits, going into the half, I felt better. And when we came out in that third quarter, it just made me feel like, you know what? If they give us a chance, it's going to be a wrap. And the reason why is because LeBron, before AD, would have to shoulder the entire load. I don't know if you guys noticed, but towards the end of that first, the last 5 minutes, LeBron called a timeout because he was tired, man. That dude put up 38 minutes tonight, or 37 minutes tonight. Anthony Davis with 38. And once again, this is not the ideal situation for him. We want to be able to get leads, especially on the road, let him rest. But LeBron knew that for 2 reasons he had to be on that court. Number 1, because the score was too close. And number 2, he needed to prove to himself that he could defeat the demon of the American Airlines Arena. And he did it. He did it tonight. Alex Acoustic, AD was the man. Listen, guys, I want you to just listen to these stats, okay, real quick. In 38 minutes, he was 11 of 20, so he was north of 50%. 4 of 9 from 3-point line. He was 33 points tonight, okay? 33 points. And the reason why I know by talking about it is because he's been so consistently between the 25, 30, 40 mark, right in there. He put up a 50 burger the other night. Because he's riding that range, we forget that 33 points is a big deal on the road, okay? He had 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 1 turnover. So when we talk about all these turnovers tonight, the Lakers had in total 19 turnovers, okay? That's huge. A majority of those turnovers came in the first half. So they buckled down a little bit in the second half. But he only had 1 of those 19 turnovers. That's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. And he gave you valuable minutes. Plus, minus, he was plus 11 in the plus minus category. I don't know what else you can say. Now, he only had 1 assist, but Anthony Davis is not there to assist. LeBron is, okay? He'll make the correct play when it's time, but there's no reason for AD to pass out outside of the paint because he dominates anybody who was in there. And so he did his thing tonight. Here we go. So Wayne Deer Games. I see what you did there. Felt like a playoff game. Great game. Every game the Lakers play is going to feel like a playoff game. 3 reasons. Number 1, no matter what team we go to, you can guarantee that they're going to sell out that night because there are more Laker fans scattered across this country than any other NBA team has. And so even when the home team there feels like they have the advantage, there's enough Laker people there to, number 1, fill up the arena when we show up and then make enough noise. So number 1, the arena is always going to be full. So that's the first part of the playoff arena, the playoff atmosphere. Number 2, the Lakers have the number 1 record in the league. And so we are the measuring stick. For any team trying to boost confidence and momentum, they need a signature win to hang their hat on. So that means the team is going to give their all to get that win. Because if they have that 1 win and they lose 3 more after that, they can still feel good knowing that they were able to beat the best team in the league. So that atmosphere, that momentum coming from the other side, that degree of difficulty coming from the opposition, it sets the tone for a playoff atmosphere. And then number three, anytime that you have superstars on the floor, when you have a Jimmy Butler and you have an Anthony Davis and you have a LeBron James, and obviously they all talk, they all communicate off season, they're all friends, but when they get on that court, you're like, I want to see who's really legit as a superstar. And they have an ego and a pride about them that is necessary to fulfill the alpha dog, the superstar role. And when you see those people collide, especially when you have a record of 11-0 at home and 12-0 away from Staples Center, when you see those two things operate, right? When you see those two things collide together, then you're going to have a playoff feel. And if you could imagine winning that game and then knowing that you had 3 more games after that in the series, you would be glued every single time. You would be glued every single time. And that is why I'm so looking forward to the Lakers in the playoffs. I'm praying to the Lord that there is no injuries. I believe God is going to put his angels around this team and keep them safe, man, because I cannot afford to see this team not in the playoffs. We're going to the playoffs. Do you realize that even if we went 50-50 right now, if we lost half of the remaining of our games, we still would be a 50-win team? That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. That is anyway. Let me keep going. Spain Torero 007. I had diarrhea. Parada Velez. I have waited long to see my team winning like this. We all have, man. This has been a congratulation gift to us. This has been a congratulation gift to us, guys. This is one of those times where you just look and think to yourself, like, man, like, it was all worth it in the end. Like, I know, like, we had to go through a slump for a minute, and we had to watch Kobe struggle in his final years. The ideal thing for me would have been watching Kobe in his last year with LeBron there and AD there, just to see it one time. But of course that's not going to happen. But we had to endure. We had to endure for 6 years, and we had to endure and watch that happen. And so tonight, to watch them win in a signature win on the road feels good. It feels good. Infamous Diva 7, like I was about to vomit. Yeah, it's rough, man. Chris Finn, KCP deserves a lot of credit for his play recently. KCP has become the most consistent corner 3 shooter that we have. I would actually say, if I'm just being honest, outside of LeBron, I would venture to say that KCP right now is our best 3-point shooter. Unfortunately, while we're speaking about KCP, Rondo on this game reverted all the way back to who he was last season. The team dared him to shoot those threes. Now, up until this point, he's been not just a little consistent, he's been overall like decent and consistent with his three. But this game, and you saw it, like once he got his run and once it was evident that the three wasn't falling for him and the teams were basically doubling AD while Rondo was on the floor and leaving him open at the 3-point line, the coach pulled him. The coach pulled him. And he kind of went to that big lineup in the crunch time. But Caldwell Pope made the difference tonight. Now, he was only 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, but that is the two keys to that is that he hit the corner 3 when it was necessary. And then the next one he came down and he just shot with confidence. He stroked it and he hit back iron on it. So that was one of his 2 misses. But the issue is that before, KCP would have hesitated before he shot that. What you want is a fluid, in the motion KCP shooting it. Catch, shoot, corner, wherever he's at. And so tonight he played not only great defense, but he did damage. 15 points in 30 minutes is basically averaging out to 2 points a minute. A bucket every 2 minutes. And so to watch him operate the way he's been operating now, his free throws, when we needed him to hit those free throws, okay, but we can sustain that hit. We can sustain that hit because we know in crunch time, if it gets close and there's going to be that fouling back and forth, we know that the person we're giving the ball to is really going to be Anthony Davis. Okay, we know that. Okay, so if it just happens to go to KCP and he misses 2, we're not so much worried about that. We know that Anthony Davis is going to be the one we rely on at the free throw line majority of the time. So outside of that, he was good. 6 of 9 tonight, and he had 4 assists, which means he was looking for the cutters. He was looking for passes. And here's where you're going to see KCP shine the most. And this is one of the things we're looking for Kuzma to find himself in. Okay, KCP is really setting the standard for what Kuzma should be doing. Okay, being able to hit threes in the clutch, especially from the corner, because if you guys got to watch this, man. I wanted to tweet it, but I couldn't because it was happening too fast. But when LeBron wants AD to come down to the paint, what he's looking to do, he'll just watch his hand. He'll dribble with his left, and then he'll tug the shorts with his right hand. When he tugs the shorts with his right hand, you'll see Anthony Davis come down, and then you'll see KCP basically leak out to the corner. It happens every single time. Anytime that you see LeBron James at the top, you're going to see him do something with his shorts or do something with his right hand to signal Anthony Davis to come down, and that leaves KCP open. Kuzma needs to understand how that's happening and then be consistent with that. And then two, KCP has mastered the curl screen. When he curls off of that screen, it's literally, he's full momentum on the handoff pass from the big of Anthony Davis or even Dwight. He's full steam ahead, and he's going straight to the basket. Because the person who's chasing him through the screen either has to do two things. Number one, he has to chase through the screen, which means he's going to be behind KCP as he's heading to the basket, or he's going to have to cheat and not go through the screen and try to meet KCP on the other side where you can stop and pop with him mid-range. So if Kuzma, who is great at cutting to the rim and doing mid-range shots, if he can master those two things, he's found his flow. He'll get his three-point opportunities. He'll get his in the paint opportunities by cutting to the basket, and he'll also get his opportunities in the mid-range. If he can learn how to do the curl screen and being able to leak out when LeBron calls AD into the middle, that I'm telling you, it is textbook. But if he masters that, KCP has helped Kuzma find out where his role should be in this offense. So not only did he do great on the floor tonight, but I'm hoping Kuzma was watching what was happening so he knows how he fits. Team Black Beast, all I have to say, gutsy win. Salute, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you, like that was a win that we needed for ourselves. If we would have lost that game, it would have made no difference, to be honest. But like to win the game just gave us that reminder of a surety that like when things are going crazy, we still have the ability to eke it out. Now they're gonna go on that plane and head off to the next spot, and they're gonna have lots of conversation. There's going to be plenty of conversation on that plane because there was a lot going on that game that they know that they need to fix. Okay, they know they need to fix that. They know they need to fix the free throw shooting. Listen, guys, like this is the one area that I think the Lakers are going to have to be consistent in. But the only person who shot perfect from the free throw line tonight was Danny Green, and every single one of our starters got to the free throw line. Okay. Anthony Davis went 7 of 9. LeBron James went 2 of 4. JaVale McGee went 1 of 3. And Caldwell Pope went 2 of 4. Like, you can't shoot those percentages in the playoffs. Like, you need to be... If you miss one, I get it, right? If you miss one, I get it. But, like, the fact that you're going 1 of 3 or 2 of 4... And here's the bigger deal. LeBron James only going to the free throw line twice is a big deal, right? Like, this is a guy that we're depending on to get to the free throw line multiple times when Anthony Davis is not in the game because he gives pressure in the paint. And unfortunately, man, like he settled for too many jump shots tonight, and he was trying to do too much where instead of just driving, you guys saw the one play where he just backed it up, and then by the time he got into the paint, he just turned around and put it into the cup because there's nobody who can hold him. He's too big. He's way too big. So, these are things that I know they're going to talk about. It was a gutsy win, and they're going to get it done. Al Sakusic, hello. George Santiago, AD saved KCP. Yeah, because KCP was about to... The Boo Birds are getting ready to come back out from Lakerland. But to be honest, KCP is going to have some games like that, man. Like, he's not a superstar. He's not even a star. He is a valuable contributor, right? And he's proven himself as that. But he's going to have some moments that make us just pull our hair out. See what 6 years does? All right. Blake St. Clair still only used 10 players again. This has been a weird stretch of games. Yeah. Frank Vogel is going to go with a 10-man rotation. Rarely. Now, there's one game where literally everybody played and everybody scored. I think that was the blowout against one of those teams before. But for the most part, you're going to see 10 people play, okay? And you're going to see, and really, Quinn Cook was getting more minutes because Avery Bradley was out. But in your mind, you would think, Quinn Cook will get more run than Jared Dudley. But the truth is that Jared Dudley is much more consistent in his three-point shooting than Quinn Cook is. And just what we need from Jared is three-point shooting. We don't need another ball handler because you do have Rondo back, you do have Avery Bradley, you do have Caruso. So the odd man out really is Quinn Cook, and it doesn't really make sense to throw him in the lineup and mess up people's minutes and mess up people's rhythm in their rotations. So, Troy Daniels didn't play, but you guys know he doesn't play often. Even when he did play, the last game, he was only playing like 7 minutes, right? I think they pull Troy Daniels in when they have a lead strong enough that they can sacrifice his defense at the benefit of his offense, right? So when the game is close, you're not going to see a Troy Daniels or a Quinn Cook because they're turnover prone, they don't play great defense, and they're short, right? Frank Vogel values size. He values size. It's the reason why Roy Hibbert and Paul George work so well together is because they have length, right? And with this team, we have too many players that have length, right? Jared Dudley was able to make a play in the passing lane because he's longer than Quinn Cook or Troy Daniels. That's the honest to God truth. As much as we want to say like, oh, he's slower and he's not as great as on defense, he's much more consistent. He has veteran mindset, so he knows how to operate. Like there was one play he did tonight that I promise you was not a foul, and it was the smartest play. Olynyk is backing him up, and all he did was just pull the chair out from underneath him. And I for the life of me, I can't figure out why they didn't challenge that play. But the refs called a foul. But that's veteran mindset. Like he knows I can't out jump Olynyk. I'm too old. He's way bigger than me, so I'm gonna pull the chair out from underneath him. And that should have been a turnover or a travel. That's what it should have been. But you're not going to get that from a Troy Daniels or a Quinn Cook. So you're going to see 10-man rotation, and then you'll see a Quinn Cook more often when somebody gets injured, or you'll see a Troy Daniels when somebody gets injured. Notice when they get to play is when somebody's injured, right? And then we always forget, right, that when Kyle Kuzma's back, that means Jared Dudley takes a step back. So you're kind of seeing how it's going to go. If Kyle Kuzma's out, Jared Dudley's going in. If you see Avery Bradley or Caruso or Rondo out, you'll probably see a Quinn Cook or a Troy Daniels come in. That's how Frank Vogel's going to run it. He's going to use the people on the bench to come in when people are hurt. That's it. Wayne Deer Games. Coach Spo doesn't get his flowers. He's a dang good coach. Plus he coached Braun for 4 years. Yeah, man. He's proven himself. I'm hoping. I haven't heard any chatter about people not believing he's a great championship coach. He's won championships. He has done his dirty work, right? He does his homework. He gets in there. He knows how to coach, man. And once again, I got to keep saying this. Miami is a good team. That's not a scrub team. If you put that Miami team in the West, I guarantee you they're in the top 5. As crazy as that sounds, I guarantee they'll be in the top 5, the top 6. Okay, maybe top 6. But like, if you told me a 7-game series between the Nuggets and the Heat, I'm gonna say the Heat. I'm gonna say the Heat. If you tell me the Dallas Mavericks or the Heat in a 7-game series, I'm going with the Heat. It's just something about that team, man. Their grit, their tenacity. They have all taken on the role and the identity of Jimmy Butler, and every single one of them cats believe in one another, and they like each other, which is different than any other Jimmy Butler team. Minnesota didn't like it. Bulls didn't like it, but this team, the coach and the players, they all get together and they all like each other. That's a dangerous team, man. We were able to do some work against them tonight. McGee had a good game. Howard kept getting fouls. Yeah, and they're going to go back and forth. JaVale McGee, and that's from Mouse Acoustic, JaVale McGee gets fouls as well. Tonight was just Dwight's game. It was his game to just pick up them fouls, man. And what I love is that he was aggressive. And let me stop real quick because I want to go to something real quick because you also mentioned that the referees are pretty bad. They were horrible tonight. But I want to give a hand to the coaching staff, okay? The coaching staff was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you where it's shown the best. And I cannot remember who I saw who posted it, but they posted a clip of that last little bit before, I'm trying to think, before halftime, okay? Phil Handy standing up, Frank Vogel is standing up, and we're on the defense trying to stop Miami Heat on the last play before the half. Phil Handy is literally talking and telling the players when to double. Like he's signaling when to double. Frank Vogel is telling who should be on who and what's the defensive rotation. This is while the game is happening. They're standing up, literally coaching the players while the play is happening, okay? Phil Handy's doing his thing. Frank Vogel. There's 2 coaches talking at the same time, and all the players knew exactly who to listen to for what movement. That is the sign of great coaching because you don't get that opportunity. Hear me. You're not going to see this in any other team right now where you have coaches who are able to speak at the same time and the team is not confused because it is established in practice. It's established on the plane. It's established everywhere else. It's established who is in control of which part of the team. Phil Handy's going to tell you what you're supposed to do. Frank Vogel's going to tell you what to do, and it's very clear on who's going to be talking about what. And it's very clear when Jason Kidd speaks. And it's very clear when Lionel Hollins speaks. Like, when they get in that halftime room, think about that. You have 4 head coaches, essentially, with the exception, I'm sorry, Phil Handy's not a head coach, but you have 3 head coaches and a championship coach in Phil Handy. You have them all together, and they're all coaching this team. So every time they come out of halftime, it's no wonder they go on a run, because you have active coaches, man. So even when the refereeing is bad, coaches can out-coach bad refereeing. That's the sign of a great coach. The sign of a great coach is the refereeing could be horrible, but if you have a great coaching staff, you can make it happen. The reason why Phil Jackson was so great was because he never allowed the referees to get him crazy in game. Phil Jackson would be as even keel. He would coach the players, tell them, "Hey, they're not calling it. You got to do this." But as soon as they got into that post game interview, he would let the entire league know how bad the refereeing was. Like, that's the sign of a great coach. Like, my emotions aren't going to get the best of me in the moment. I'm going to focus on my players and let that happen. Another thing that happened was Frank Vogel, if you guys saw that during the timeout, was talking to them because it was a high turnover game. And he says, don't worry about the turnovers. He goes, forget the turnovers. You have 0 turnovers right now. Now, mind you, in the first half, they had probably one of the highest turnover margins they've had all season. And he goes, forget about it. You have 0 turnovers. He understands what's getting in the way of the players' minds. And he begins to talk about that. I think that's just phenomenal, man. I got to keep going. I'm so sorry. UC Laker fan, thumbs up. Thank you. Tony Zavala, 67. It was a sloppy game, but a win is a win. And a 23rd win. There we go. I think Michael Thompson, Laker Metropolis, slipped some mojitos in our players' drinks. Everybody know, man. Mike love him. Michael Thompson love him to Miami. Of course, that's like the landing zone from coming over from his hometown. But I don't know if the players got any time in the city, to be honest with you. It didn't feel like an energy issue. It felt more like an over-trying issue. And it felt like LeBron was the one who was setting the tone. And to be honest, the reason why he was so tired tonight is because he knew he had to make up for all the mistakes he was making. It was just in his head, man. And I think there was a conversation the same as AD. When AD went back to New Orleans, it was like, man, we want to get you that win. I think there was a conversation. I ain't heard this from nobody, but I'm just thinking about how this team operates. They know LeBron is 1-4 in this building. They know he has problems when he goes back to Miami. And they probably said, LeBron, we're gonna get you a win. We're gonna get you a win. And there was a collective decision to get LeBron the win. And you can just see that that first half they were trying too hard, man. We are way better than the Heat. As good as they are, we're way better than the Heat. But we were doing things that made us look like scrubs. It reminded me of how we were playing against the Clippers, where everybody was still trying to figure out their role, and the offense wasn't really set, the defense wasn't really set. But the second half reminded me of who we've been for the majority of the season. A defensive-minded, grit-and-grind team, and they pulled it out. Chris Finn, Kuzma's spacing off the bench is missed. Some of the lineups with Rondo are cringeworthy. Yeah, and it's hard because, once again, Kuzma being injured as consistent as he's been since the summertime, right? I had to go back and count how many games he's actually played, but he's had the least amount of synergy time with this team. And so it just, you want him. It would be different if he was an expendable piece, but he's really not. A lot of people talking about trades and stuff like that. They're not trading Kuzma, guys. They're not going to trade this dude. They believe in him, and his contract makes sense. It doesn't make sense to trade him when his contract makes so much sense and his upside and his ceiling is so high. So what we're really looking for, and I got to keep saying this every post-game report, do not look for Kuzma to be consistent until All-Star break. I'm going to keep saying that. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds hyperbolic. I know it sounds like I'm just going over the edge with it. But I'm telling you, Kuzma will not get right until All-Star break. So right now, he's not going to be able to do the normal stuff. So because of that, Vogel's got to play with rotations. And so, you need another ball handler in there. And, you need like a Rondo who's able to make passes, who made some incredible passes tonight. He wasn't high in the assists, I don't believe. When I'm looking at this, yeah, he only had 4 assists, so he wasn't super amazing in the assist category. But he understands LeBron and he understands AD, so you can trust him a little bit more. But when Kuzma's in there, it's a little bit different because you can go with that length and you can run those big lineups and you can let LeBron run the point. And that's a great time you can put Caruso in because you don't need his scoring, you have Kuzma scoring. So it'll get better. The Maria Show. Hey guys, good to see you again. Big Bavon, nail biter. You look and sound like the guy from Key and Peele. Yes, Michael Keegan. I get that a lot. In fact, me and him have talked. We used to go to the same church before I moved out here, And we laugh about it. We used to laugh about it when we see each other like, man, I might as well just get your check now because everybody keeps calling me that. George Santiago, this is why defense should be the foundation. KCP missed free throws, but we still won. And for teams that don't have great defense, I feel bad for them. Because in moments like that, unless you're blowing a team out, it's going to be a problem. And if I can be honest with you guys, I know there's been a lot of conversation, and I got to keep going back to the Clippers because they're the one thing that everybody keeps comparing us to. What separates us in defense from the Clippers is that ours is much more consistent. For the Clippers, you really got to rely on Kawhi when he can play, Paul George, right? That means that Paul George would have to score and defend, which is hard. Patrick Beverley's annoyance, which is not really defense, he's just really annoying. He picks up a lot of fouls, right? So you really don't have a huge defensive front, right? And nobody really knows what the identity is. But look at how many times the people came in the paint tonight, and Anthony Davis would block, JaVale McGee would block, Dwight Howard would contest. It's just our defense in the paint is ridiculous. And then you throw out wing defenders like a Danny Green, like an Alex Caruso, like an Avery Bradley. And I mean, I just don't see another team that has that many defensive-minded people. Literally, we have a challenge called the AB Challenge, the Avery Bradley Challenge. It's a challenge to the entire team to play defense like Avery Bradley. And he's not even like one of our best. According statistically, Alex Caruso is a top 5 defender in the guard category. But like that's how deep our defense goes. And I think like people have to understand that like we're not really concerned about how many points we score. What we are concerned is do we keep teams low? So like tonight it was 110. They scored 110 tonight, but that's good when you're on the road, and that's good when it's a tough battle back and forth, and that's good when you have sharpshooters on the other team like Hero, Robinson, people like that, man. So I think like the defense is what's going to keep us in the championship race. Maria showed 23-3, baby. That's right. They said Davis was a stat pattern. I didn't see that tonight. What I saw was a grown man who showed everybody. They literally had to hold his arms to try to keep him, and he still got rebounds. I don't know how many times we saw that. Olynyk would hook one arm, and Anthony Davis just pulled it up. He just went up, got the rebound with one hand, came back down, and then waited for the whistle. Anthony Davis knew it was a foul when he went to go get the rebound because he was being held before it. Like, I don't want to hear none of that, man. I don't want to hear none of that. You're correct, Maria Show. There is no stat padding with this dude. After the second half, LeBron stopped turning it over, and it was a wrap. Once again, had LeBron played like LeBron in the first half, this would have been a double-digit win. That's what I'm encouraged by. We won by 3, and it was probably one of our worst games, our worst halves we've ever had in the entire season. Okay? Armstrong Muds. Are they ready for the Clippers? I am so excited about Christmas Day. And listen, it's going to be a battle. It's not like we're going to walk in there and blow them out by 20. It's going to be a battle. Number one, because the Clippers hate us. And they're going to bring it. And they know that that's the collision course. And their record is not great, right? But they know that they have champion. They're playing right now, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing Indiana. They know that, like, everything that they're doing is irrelevant. Wins, losses. It's going to be about, can you do on Christmas Day what you did on opening night? Because people know on opening night compared to where we are now are 2 different teams. This is not the Laker team of the opening night. And we proved that tonight. So the question is, does Christmas Day mean more to them or to us? And I believe Christmas Day means more to them, which means if you're asking me if we're ready for the Clippers, based on the fact that we already know who we are and they still need to prove that they're that team, I think that shows it. The Milwaukee Bucks, every team in the league knows that they're amazing. The Los Angeles Lakers, every team in the league knows that they're amazing. The Los Angeles Clippers, everybody knows they have the potential to be amazing. But they can't seem to show it. So I feel like we're more than ready. Bring them. Let's go. What's up? I'm ready for Christmas Day. Listen, I'm not opening a present until I see AD and LeBron do that weird handshake they do and they walk off the court. And I'm watching Patrick Beverley in that hallway cam hang his head low as he goes into the hallway. I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for that. Alsa Acoustic, AD's offensive rebound after the KCP blown free throw at the end won the game. Absolutely. But it's AD. He can do it. Like, I'm just saying, like, AD, that's not, who's going to out-rebound that dude? It's not going to happen. Jonathan Watson here. What up, Broham? Jay Watt, man. My brother from another mother, man. It's the dynamic duo. We riding again. The real show. Shout out to JaVale. That's what we did. You missed it in the first half, but we pointed out Jared Dudley and JaVale McGee for their energy and momentum. The only thing we miss is a good decision maker besides LeBron. Then turnovers are going down. Absolutely. And I mean, that'd be an embarrassment of riches. I don't really know who you could even consider that, right? Our best ball handler away from that, as crazy as this sounds, is Rondo, right? Because Rondo just has an understanding of basketball. His IQ is great. He's respected amongst LeBron and AD, which is what you need from your guard. So if your guard calls a play, they're not going to wave it off, right? They understand that he probably sees something that they don't see. But outside of that, we don't really have a ball handler, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, we can definitely win a championship without one. But if we did have one, it'd be over the top. It would be like hands down, we'd be done. It'd be over. Like a part of me was really, really praying. I was like, man, if the Thunder would have bought out CP3, I'd have been like, yo, man, pick my man up. Could you imagine? I probably shouldn't even talk about that because we just got over him not coming over to the Lakers. Heat bench killed our bench. Only 19 points. Vogel didn't bring Alex back. No, Alex didn't come back for whatever reason. I think part of it, he only played 11 minutes tonight. But I think a part of it was because Caruso, he's probably one of our more athletic people. It was very clear that Vogel was trying to slow the game down, and he was trying to rely on length. Okay, when you see Jared Dudley in there, it's primarily because he's able to shoot, and he has a little bit of length there. But it's going to have games like that, right? Our bench is not going to be the greatest bench. Our bench is not the greatest bench, and I'm fine with that. I ain't got no problem with that. We actually had 19 points off the bench. We had 19 points off the bench. Yeah, like what you said. And for the Heat, their starters are not as good as our starters, so they have to rely on their bench. If you're being honest, man, a Tyler Hero is probably going to end up in the starting lineup at some point, and he's going to be doing his thing. But like a Dragic, people like that, primarily, they're going to come off the bench, and these are people who are premier shooters. So it's just one of those things. Our bench is not built to score. Our bench is built to maintain. That's what it's made for. It's meant to play defense hard. It's meant to stop runs and stuff like that. But for the most part, the reason why they're doing the rotation with AD and LeBron coming in and out, swapping in and out, is because the bench still needs a superstar. It's a benefit that we have that most teams don't have. Jimmy Butler goes out, there is no other superstar. Okay? For the Clippers, if Kawhi's not playing, there is no other superstar. I don't care what you say about Lou Williams. Like, he's a great shooter, but he ain't going to defend, right? And you need someone who's able to jump, defend, do all that stuff, get in the passing lane, and that's not him. Smith 818, great win. Wasn't firing on all cylinders, but great win. Miami is a dark horse in Eastern Conference. I don't even think they're a dark horse. I think the Eastern Conference knows. And I think there's a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference that want to see them. If I were to see the Celtics and the Heat go up against each other, that would be a great series. I would love to see that for 7 games. That's the kind of stuff. I would love to see the Raptors and them go up against each other for 7 games. The Heat beat the Raptors this season already. So that's the kind of, they beat the Bucks. See what I'm saying? Like, this team is, people know, hey, they can, you give them you leave that door open, they're gonna walk right on through it. KCP. Yep, he'll give you all the good stuff, and then he'll, occasionally miss a couple free throws in the clutch that make you want to cringe and throw yourself away. But he doesn't. Okay, a good option is Caruso. Yeah, once again, this is Caruso's first time running a full season with the Lakers and a championship team. Caruso came up with young pups. I hate using that word, but it's just young guys who didn't know, right? Caruso is still, this is his opportunity to grow the most this season. You're going to see the best of Caruso next season because he's going to get a full season with championship contention teams. And he's already starting to show, he's already spoken about what he cares about this season. I want to be the guy that shuts down the other team's guy. So you're not looking for offensive production. You're not looking for ball handling. You're looking for him to come in and disrupt the other team's offense. That's his focus. Okay, as the season progresses, he'll begin to add more tools to his arsenal. But that's his go-to. That's the defensive statistic. And yeah, he's gonna get a putback dunk. He comes weak side from the baseline every single time he puts a putback dunk. But that's like his signature thing. But the defense is what he's known for. He'll add the offense and the playmaking and the ball handling later. all the Heat starters into the game with a negative, even with a minus. Even Butler, yeah. And once again, I don't put too much stock in the plus minus. I try to read and think about who that person was in the game. It doesn't matter. Like for instance, Jared Dudley was a minus. I think he was a -3 or something like that, or -7. He was a -7 tonight. Dwight Howard was a -9. But I'm thinking to myself, Dwight Howard had 8 rebounds. Okay, I get he may not have put up a lot of points, right? And he caused a lot of fouls, but the fouls that he created were fouls that our other people didn't have to pick up. Every foul that Dwight had was a foul that LeBron didn't have to take. So, for me, I'm just like, I don't know. Danny Green was a +2 tonight, but he shot 2 of 7. You see what I'm saying? Like it's weird. It's hard to say. Jimmy Butler is not built for championships. He ain't built like that. Smith 818. I wouldn't say that. I would say he hasn't been in a championship contention season. He hasn't had that expectation on him. I think his mentality. I think the fact that the entire league knows that he wakes up at 4. He gets to the gym at 4 a.m. to work out before the actual team practice starts. I think those are championship tendencies. That's Kobe-esque when you think about the work ethic and the mindset, and he challenges his team, and he refuses. They said when Tyler Hero first came in, his initiation was he had to stick Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler put the work on him, put like 35 points up on that dude, right? But that kind of stuff is championship mentality. He just doesn't have a supporting cast. I think this Miami team in about a year, if they make some roster moves over the offseason and keep their young pieces together, I think they're going to be a dangerous squad, and they could challenge for a championship. I do believe that. The Maria Show, he's built for talking about winning, but not winning. Y'all really giving it to him, man. Y'all leave him alone. Jimmy Butler was a free agent that we were looking at. Okay, it was a possibility we were going to get him. Okay, because it was a possibility it was going to be AD, LeBron, and Jimmy. And I don't know if anybody else would have thought, but that might have been something dangerous. Even though I love our team now, Kobe contract meant that wasn't possible. Would have been nice. Yeah, Kobe. It wasn't going to happen regardless. It wasn't going to happen regardless because LeBron wasn't coming to us while Kobe was there. It wouldn't have happened. He's not going to live underneath somebody's shadow while the person is still there. Ain't going to happen. Armstrong, Muds, do you think they can beat Kawhi? I absolutely believe they can beat Kawhi. Now, once again, I don't believe that either team is at their peak performance. I believe one of the teams has set their identity. I don't really know the identity of the Clippers yet in this sense. I know that they can defend. I know that they have 2 superstars. I know they have a deep bench, but they don't operate like that every night, right? So Kawhi is load managing, so you don't get that consistency on any given night. He's just not gonna be on there, right? And then it depends on how Patrick Beverley's playing. It depends on how Paul George is playing. They got blown out one night, we haven't been blown out yet, and I don't think we're gonna get blown out. God, I'm about to knock on wood. I don't think we're gonna get blown out, but if you get blown out, I'm talking 30-something points, 40 points, you're down. That's not that to me says lack of identity, right? That says lack of identity to me. And both of your superstars were on the floor. You didn't get blown out with one of them out. You got blown out with both of them on the floor. So for me, it's I think the reason why we can beat them is because the identity for them is not set. I would say the true test would be once both identities are set and the rosters are set, and the trade acquisitions and the offseason stuff has been done, I think that's a better barometer of who's the better team. I think right now it's just we have a much more clear identity, and it shows. Ooh, God, you guys are going in. Disagree. Jimmy Buckets is really good on both ends. He is. I'm telling you, every player respects him. All the trash talking that was happening, when you saw AD get fouled, he was going, yeah. He was talking to Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler walked over to him, patted him on the chest, and was like, I'm going to get you on the next one. That's a mutual respect. Jimmy Butler may not be a superstar, but he's on the cusp of it. That dude is nice. Okay, that dude is nice. Okay, didn't play great tonight, but still got the W. Thanks, AD. Leonard H. Buchanan won. Thank you, AD. Can't say it enough. So glad he's there. Heat fan here. Wait a minute. Let me go back up here. Prompts. Great game. Going to be a fun finals matchup. Ben Scope, man, thank you for jumping in here, man. You need to defend your boy Jimmy Buckets. I'm trying to tell them that Jimmy Butler is a real deal player, man. The Heat are a real deal team. Spoelstra is a real deal coach. And if I'm not mistaken, ain't Riley still up there doing the general managing and president stuff? They have a championship, they have it. They've drafted great. So, y'all, you got to remember, Adebayo was like 22 years old or something crazy like that. Like, they got some young bucks, but when they come up, it's going to be something dangerous. So a lot of players, his good play doesn't result in chips. The Maria Show. Yeah. Caruso is a great option as a decision maker. He is. I'm going to tell you what the issue is. Caruso's great as a decision maker because he understands the floor. The issue is that he has not learned how to finish at the rim. So most of his turnovers are going to come when he drives to the paint. When you're a decision maker, knowing when to drive to the paint is one thing. But if you drive to the paint and you can't finish, making a good decision won't necessarily result in a good play. And that's the problem. He's going to have to learn how to finish at the rim. Once again, this is very much like Lonzo in his first year. Lonzo was amazing at getting to the rim. Homeboy cannot finish. Okay, he just cannot finish. That's what Caruso needs to get underneath his belt, is being able to do that and being able to make good decisions with superstars who understand the plays better than he does. And that's one of the things he's not going to get in G League. You got to run with these cats to understand the nuances of when to go. Like LeBron James doing a touch pass as he saves the ball, touch pass into AD as AD gets the dunk in the paint. Like, Caruso has enough athleticism to do that. But the wherewithal and the court vision to know that is going to take a lot, because LeBron knew AD was going to be in the paint. It's not a drawn-up play. LeBron didn't have to see AD before he knew he was going to be there. Okay? Like, that's the idea. Like, that's what you want Caruso to have. Besides Rondo. Here we go. I don't know. Y'all struggled with length. Toronto, Bucks, 76ers, all long teams. But they beat the Bucks. Right? So, I can't wait to see the matchup against Celtics and Clippers to shout out ESPN. Yeah, man, that's going to be a good game as well. Leonard H. Buchanan 1. Lakers are great with interior D. Clippers exterior D. That's a very good point. We hang our hat in the interior. Clippers hang their hat in the exterior. Kawhi, Patrick Beverly, Paul George on that perimeter, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And tonight, we had a problem with the exterior D. As soon as LeBron went off the court, they went into a zone. But as long as LeBron was on the court, they kept it man, and they kept pushing the pressure on the perimeter, right? So that they would force him into, number one, shooting a jump shot he shouldn't be shooting, or forcing him to dribble. And LeBron is an amazing driver of the basket, but his handle is not crazy. He's not gonna shake you, right? That's not his game. He ain't gonna shake you. He ain't gonna Kimball Walker you out of your shoes. What he is gonna do is he can drive to the paint, make the right pass, make the right decision, which is what makes him dangerous. And so the exterior D is LeBron is going to have a problem with that, because they're going to continue to double him up top, and he's going to have to just make the right decision. And we trust him to do it, but like tonight, he just had some problems with it. Hey, yo, you snitching on the team. Jada Ball's talking about the pocket. He's probably going to change that. But I rewound it 3 times tonight, and I was like, that man told him what to do with a tug of his shorts. That was crazy. Game ball, JaVale. Yep, JaVale, Jared Dudley, AD. I really think it goes to AD, because I can't imagine how we win that game without AD's offense and his rebounding tonight. I was about to drag KCP by his headband up and down this timeline. Y'all leave KCP alone, man. Once again, he's going to have a bad game. That's perfectly fine, yo. He needs to have the freedom. Listen, the last thing we can do not do this. This is how we ended up in this funk in the first place. Do not give this dude negative energy, because if his mind goes south, and his head is not in the game, and he starts overthinking, we're going to get the old KCP. That's not what we need, people. Spirit bombs. Give this dude a dose of positivity. Hit him in his DMs tonight and be like, hey, man, I know you missed those free throws, but you're going to get them next time. All we know is that when he gets built up with confidence by words and words of encouragement, this dude operates different. He has his reign of terror ended when Dwight Howard got on Instagram and started hyping this dude up and was like, that's my teammate. And everybody started commenting, like, that's my teammate. From that point on, he started playing amazing. So give it to him. Audi 1900 on BD, you ain't never lying. You ain't never lying. Thank you, man. Infamous Diva, what did you think about Danny Green's defense the last 5 minutes? I love Danny, man. It's hard to say. It's just hard to say, especially from team to team. I love it. I love Danny Green's defense overall. You know, I think it just goes unspoken because it's just not loud, right? And he doesn't do steals and stuff like that. He's just more about stopping the passing lane. He doesn't disrupt it. He'll just cut it off. Or he's more about trying to make it harder for that person. But once you get Danny Green into the interior, that's normally where it's a problem for him. He's much more like a Kawhi and a Paul George, where his perimeter defense is amazing. But that's why you have a big on the inside. If they get past Danny Green, you go to a Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, or an AD. Or a LeBron if he decides to like jump in there and do something. So I love it. I just think it's Blake St. Clair. I get your points, but I think it's more than LeBron is playing the point guard while Avery isn't starting. Once Avery starts again, I think it goes back to a 12-man rotation with Cook getting time over Dudley. Listen, Blake St. Clair. It's not automatic that Avery's getting back into that starting position. But make it very clear. It's not automatic. Like, Avery is great, man. Him getting in that mid-range automatic. His defense is incredible, full court pressure. But the issue is that KCP is playing he's playing above his pay grade right now. I shouldn't say above his pay grade. We're paying him way too much. But like he's playing well, and it's too consistent to take him out. And you don't know what's going to happen to KCP if he goes back to the bench. You know what's going to happen with Avery Bradley as he's on the bench right now. So in a perfect world, yes, Avery Bradley would get back up to where he's at, and then you would see him get back to that starting role. KCP being able to help out with those 15 points off the bench, but there's no reason to make that switch right now, outside of Avery Bradley started before. But I can't say it enough, man. Like he's putting in work. So Team Black B, sign of a great team is if one or two guys are not scoring, we have other players that can step up. That's the honest to God truth. That's where depth really matters. Is if other people aren't scoring, can we trust other people to score and step up? Blake St. Clair, I think Kuzma is basically at his ceiling now. No, absolutely not. No, Kuzma is not at his ceiling, man. Kuzma is a 20-point. You know he can shoot, right? You know he has the ability to shoot. Everybody knows that. Well, even when he misses, his ceiling says he can shoot. He's aggressive. He forgets when he learns how to forget bad nights. He is a scorer. He is a shooter. Bottom line, right? He can get to the cup. He knows how to play well, but he hasn't hit that stride yet. And this feels much like how KCP was playing. It was like get rid of him, trade him. He's not that great yet, right? But the truth is that our streak has continued because of KCP. I fully expect Kuzma once again by the All-Star break. Don't put nothing on it until All-Star break. I'm just telling you right now, it's gonna be a long wait. You're gonna be like, oh, this is so frustrating. But I'm telling you, by All-Star break, my mans will be good. Just needs a moment to do it. Team Black Beast, the Heat role players are comfortable at home, hence the close game. They will be shy at Staples. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, like LeBron put up a 50-piece on them before. No. They came to Staples. That game's not even close. Not even close. Like, it's not even, no. Yeah, something about Staples Center for us is, like, that's our refresh point. That's what I really think. I think the reason why we're able to play so well on the road is because we get so much love inside that building, yo. Like, the way the Laker fans come out when we're winning, we don't do this much when we're losing. But when we come out when we're winning, it's insane, man. The atmosphere is incredible, and it feeds you, and it feeds your confidence, and it feeds that team. So when they go on the road, they can hear boos. They can hear boos because they know, like, hey, man, like, we good. We real good. Like, we solid, right? But I feel sorry for people who come home against us, man. Team Black Beast, good point. LBJ will play better than Staples, too. Yeah, for the most part. And part of me feels like, if I can just throw this out there, part of me feels like a little bit of Bronny's game was on his mind. Him playing against his alma mater. Like, LeBron wore some extremely bright shoes tonight that didn't even match the uniform, really. I mean, it was like, woo, Sunny D light. Like, it was bright, man. And it just, I don't know. Like, something was in his mind tonight, and I can't exactly explain what it was. I want to learn all the handshakes. He has a handshake. LeBron has a handshake for every single player, and they're all unique to that player. I don't know how he does it. I can't even. Listen, man. We good. Give me